What's up, world, and welcome back to another episode of the Mike Podcast. That's Mix in Chat. I'm your boy HaVic, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
And our special guest host, HaVic.
What's up, guys? Let's talk.
Let's get into it. Today, our first topic is touching on a recent topic we talked about in the last episode of the Mike Podcast, which is Trump news. The appellate court ruled to reduce the bond in Trump's civil fraud case earlier this week. Originally, the bond was set at $465 million. Yes, y'all heard that right. $465 million. Most of us won't see that in our whole entire lifetimes. And it was due to be paid on Monday the 25th. So the appeals court ruled on Monday, right before it was due, to reduce the bond to $175 million, and they gave a 10-day extension to be added on to the deadline, meaning he had 10 days from the date it was originally due to actually pay it off. What do we think about this? I think it's outrageous.
Yes, it is kind of outrageous, but I just wonder why they actually reduced the bond.
That's my question, too.
And another thing too, was this a Supreme Court or was this like a regular court?
Good observation.
Well, the civil court is who set the bond. If a case doesn't work out in your favor and you want to try to get it in your favor, you go to the appeals court.
Because you know where I was going with that.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where he was going.
Wow.
But now he only has to pay the $175, and he's like, "Oh, I have that." Of course he does. He had the $465 million, which he wanted everybody else to help him pay because he didn't want to use his own funds to pay it, which he had that, but he's talking about he wanted to use it for his campaign. He planned on using that money for his campaign. So you ask your supporters to pay it for you?
So that's also another lie on top of the lies you already have told.
And is it still coming out of the same bucket? Because, I mean, we still don't know that.
Right. That's a good question, because are you going to use the money that people are giving you, or is this $175 million that you already had? Like he's flaunting that he's got that in cash already. So I'm like, where'd this money come from? If you didn't even have the 465, now you've got the 175. Where's it coming from? Is it what everybody's already sent you? And is it coming out of the campaign bucket, or is it coming out of a different fund?
Yeah.
And are you going to let us know? Are you writing it in your books as campaign donation, but in reality it's not? Or are you writing it in as this is a fund to help me pay my cost, but it's actually campaign donation money?
Well, I mean, you can say whatever you want. Don't make it real.
Right, exactly. And I wonder how much money we, the people, have given him to support whatever needs he needs to use this money for. But I think we would never know the actual amount of money that we as Americans have sent him for his own use.
Facts. And it might have something you sent for his campaign donation or his election fundraiser, but he's actually using it for something else, like to pay for rent.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I mean, you can say we the people, but I ain't saying nothing because I got to pay my bills.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing either. I ain't saying nothing either.
Period.
What you been saying?
On the other side of that, his criminal cases are still taken away.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, so the judge in his criminal case against Stormy Daniels, which is the $130,000 hush money that he gave to her, has ruled that the date of that will be in mid-April. I think they said April 15th. Well, Trump's lawyers were arguing that the case should have been postponed, like delayed or completely dismissed, and they were claiming that there were thousands of documents improperly introduced earlier this month, and the judge rejected that notion and was saying that Trump's attorneys were accusing the Manhattan DAs of prosecutorial misconduct. I hope I said that word right, because y'all know it's
well, I tell you, this sounded good.
Yeah, don't look at me. You know, I stumble all that all over the place.
He said they were accusing the Manhattan DA of prosecutorial misconduct and trying to make him sound like he was being complicit to that. So it was like you are throwing swords and you trying to hit the judge too. The trial will happen mid-April, And I think the date, don't quote me, was April 15th. And that's the case against Stormy Daniels and the Hush Money. If y'all don't know who Stormy Daniels is a adult film actress.
Of course,
we all know who that is.
To say it nicely. But yeah, so that's what's going on so far with Trump news. I'll keep y'all posted later on with more. This is juicy.
I think there's going to be more. You know there's going to be more. This ain't going to stop.
This is going to be a segment that continues on for episodes, at least until the presidency is announced, and then we're going to go into that whole ordeal.
And this is the whole thing for me, too. How is this man still able to run for president?
Y'all, I'm telling y'all, Donald Trump is the only person in the world that is above the law. Y'all can say what y'all want, but this man has beat many of cases, and it's like the law does not touch him.
That part.
And honestly, too, I mean, this is just my opinion and just what I've gathered. But, I mean, I did watch the whole thing with January 6th. Everything led up to him. That was all them. I don't care what anybody else says.
When you say all them, you mean all Trump?
Trump and his people.
Oh,
yeah.
With that whole conference thing, that was all them.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I say what you want, but I still believe he was selling secrets to Putin.
Not with the snap. Yes, because like my thing is, what was the whole point of you even taking all of those documents down to Mar-a-Lago?
And flushing them down the toilet.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's still some boxes that haven't been found. Like, where are those?
Yeah.
This man is a character. It's like, it's so entertaining.
And then you're friends with him.
Yeah.
Like what is the real entire tea? And then you say stop immigration, build a wall, but your whole entire family's immigrants. Like your wife's an immigrant. Your mother was an immigrant. Hell, you're an immigrant. And then you're in dealings with the Russians. Like, I honestly feel like if he wins, like we said last episode, D-Lo, if he wins, it's gonna turn into a dictatorship because he's already above the law.
Well, he's already done said that he would like to try it for a day. Do you think that one day would stop?
No.
I mean, if
he
dictatorship
tried it for one day, he would throw out every single rule that we had, every single law or anything we had in place, and it would all be Trump's way.
Yep, he'll pluck them off like flower plant pellets.
And then that's when people will say that he's the greatest president we ever had.
That is all that I have today in Trump news. When we come back, we will dive into another topic. So stay tuned. Welcome back, and let's dive right into sports. What we got going on, D-Lo?
Man, we got some games. So the first time I've seen this in a while, but all 4 number ones are still in the tournament.
Oh wow.
So the Thursday games, we got Clemson, number 6 Clemson with number 2 Arizona.
Okay.
We got number 5 South Dakota State versus number 1 UConn.
Come on, UConn.
And then we got number 4 Alabama versus number 1 North Carolina.
Okay, easy.
And then we got number 3 Illinois versus number 2 Iowa State.
Ooh.
One, personally, I kind of want to see North Carolina get bumped.
Really?
Yeah. It's a personal thing.
What is a personal thing?
So, all right.
I'm rooting for NC.
So, my wife's cousin, he's all about North Carolina. Anytime Kentucky loses, we hear about it.
Family rivalry.
Yeah. So I told him that because he made a post about how Kentucky lost and blah blah blah, and I was like, well, North Carolina is right behind it. So apparently I was wrong on that. My bad, cuz. But
now he's rooting for your team to fail so he can talk a little crap about your team.
I mean, honestly, right now, if it's between Alabama and North Carolina, I'm about to go North Carolina.
I was about to ask you that question. Who you really thought was gonna win that game? But at least you was honest.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Babcock, he's kind of, you never know what you're gonna get with him on the night. But it's the same thing with Alabama. You never know. But they both been bringing it in the tournament.
I mean, but they might throw you a loop like
Kentucky.
Yeah, we'll touch on that because there's a whole bunch of stuff with that one.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so Friday games, we got number 11 North Carolina State with number 2 Marquette.
Marquette has always been so good.
Which I think will be a good game because I think North Carolina State's the one that knocked out Oakland, which knocked us out. And they got big boy at the paint. Mm-hmm. He's 6'9", 275 pounds. He's built like a linebacker. And then you got number 5 Gonzaga versus number 1 Purdue.
I just love they name Gonzaga.
That's another one I was gonna say too. They're always good too. They're always right there. They're a team that just presses so hard and they just so passionate about winning, and their name has just stood out to me in this tournament. Like for years it has.
Yeah. And then number 4 Duke versus number 1 Houston.
Duke. That's another one.
But so, what's the face for? Why you not feeling Duke?
You mean puke?
But check this out. No, if you slash that D and slash that E,
it's UK.
Uh-huh.
So, but
and
yeah,
they are colors too.
I'm sick about that.
And then you got number 3 Creighton versus number 2 Tennessee.
That's another one. These are some good games that's coming up.
Yeah, it's been a crazy bracket. There hasn't been that many bracket busters this year that I've seen. I mean, the one major one was Kentucky, but other than that, I wonder
how major that was to everybody else. If like, because for us it was major because we are UK fans. But was it that major to other people?
So my mom filled out a bracket. I didn't this year because I didn't feel like sitting down making 20 brackets like I do every year. Like, and that's being real. Like, I literally make one bracket that I look at all the stats and then I go through it. And then I make another one where I end up ultimately putting our UK winning. And then I make 15 more on like bracket busters and stuff like that.
That's fun. I would like to do that too.
So,
I find that fun. Like I would be so mad if I lost on any other bracket.
But because you have all these type of brackets to go back to. This one's falling into play, and this one's like throw it in the trash.
I can see that.
But my mom, she's done pretty good with it. Like the whole left side of her bracket's still going good.
Wow.
But the one that messed her up on the other side was Kentucky.
UK messed everybody up.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been pretty good. Now on the betting side of it,
oh yeah, let's get into that. DraftKings, where y'all at?
Yeah, what's
okay?
Your
So there's been a lot of controversy with this betting thing, and so the NCAA president came out and said that he is calling for a ban for college prop bets. And if you don't know about prop bets, it's basically like players saying this player is going to go over under on threes, or this player is going to go over and under on points, or how many points they're going to get and stuff like that. But they're saying that it threatens the integrity in the competition.
Oh.
So in NBA, there has been a player under scrutiny right now. I think his name is Javante Porter.
My name? But just a little different name.
But he, so what happened was he got caught in 2 instances where his prop bets for threes have been the most money makers. And he's a bench player. He's not a person that you would think that people would put big money on.
Ooh.
So like one game, what happened was it was a 0.5 on threes. So basically he's not really a 3-point shooter. So if he would have made a 3 on his over, then he would have got it. If he didn't make any threes on the under, you would have got it. There was one game where he supposedly had a aggravated eye injury and he left the game, didn't make any threes. And then there was another instance where he got sick towards the end of the game and left and didn't make any threes.
So are people calling that intentional, like he's doing it on purpose?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so what's kind of conspired, like they're not saying that he placed any bets, like it was his money that he bet on himself. But what they're saying is there's insider bets.
Oh.
Shade.
Ooh.
So.
And in those insider bets, are they saying, hey, you do this and we'll give you a cut?
Possibly. But it's
the coach. Now just playing.
And then you got other instances where fans and gamblers have called coaches, threaten them.
It's the coach.
You know what I mean? Like people are really taking this betting thing crazy. And I've always been told by my grandfather, don't bet money you ain't willing to lose.
Right.
You know, I'm one of those. I'll make a 15 leg parlay and bet $2 on it because I ain't gonna miss that $2. Right. But if I win, you know, that's $15,000. Yeah. So, but I ain't gonna miss that $2 if I lose it.
I feel like they should tweak it to where the bet percentages are hidden, and I feel like they should like. My thing is, how do you do it to where the players can't see what's being bet on?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not the percentages because you can't really do like if you show somebody over and under, you can't really show what the bet percentage is because then they don't really know what they're going to win, what they're going to lose. Right. You know, so you can't really do that. It's really becoming more of a mess than anybody would thought it would.
Just like AI becoming a mess.
Shade.
Facts. Like you never think of it until it actually starts, or they did think of it, but they just didn't care. They was like, people aren't going to catch on to it that quickly, but they are.
Yeah,
people are catching on to like the back end of how to get around some stuff quick.
Yeah,
and now like they should have already thought that process out and how to do something to counteract what. Because, like, with sports betting, you have to think about that type of thing.
Yeah.
When you begin. So, yeah. It kind of makes you think, like, is the people that actually created these apps or created the abilities for these sports betting actually the ones that are partly doing it, too?
Exactly.
You never know.
Because then they would be making a killing not only off the apps that you're betting on, but off the results, too. So you don't know. It's a lot to play with.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to end up coming out to light of what's going on with all these scandals and bet scandals.
And there are a million, y'all. Y'all better stay tuned to this podcast because there's going to be scandals coming out galore. There's so many controversies, conspiracies,
and then also too, DraftKings, FanDuel, all y'all hit us up.
Yeah, come on, sponsorship on God.
All right, so. We've been dealing with, the whole UK business.
Oh, God.
Well, before we touch on that part, the Lady Cats, they did fire their head coach and when their season ended. And they end up picking up Kenny Brooks from Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So...
Don't he have NCAA wins?
I don't think so. I'll keep that up with y'all. Yeah. But it did seem like he had a nice record.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming because they included him in UK. You gotta have something going on.
What was their reason for firing the coach that they had already?
Do we know?
I guess it was underperformance. They just didn't go the way they thought it was going to go. I thought she was only there for one season, so that's kind of iffy. I don't like it when organizations do coaches like that because you don't really give a coach time to set up and build their culture and put that in place in a team and make it a winning team.
And to know the actual players too. Everybody has to mesh.
Yeah.
Like the coaching and the players and the chemistry. You have to have good chemistry. So they keep changing things. You're not going to have it.
Yeah. Unlike Calipari, who's been with Kentucky for 15 years.
Dang, it's been that long?
It's been that long.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so,
I feel like he's only been there for like 5 years.
Yeah, no. So on to that mess. Okay, so he had his meeting Tuesday with Mitch Bernhardt.
Okay.
Which is the person that gave him his lifetime contract.
Which we've known now that it's in 2029 that the life contract ends.
And then, but before then, on Monday, he got on his radio show, which I was kind of surprised he did that, which I am, but I ain't. Because he is a face guy. He does want to kind of clear up his name before this whole stuff goes crazy. So his statement was that the only thing I'm saying to all fans is I'm going to work. This is a commitment that I give to fans. I love it. This is what I want. This is it. Let's come together and do something special. Also, he goes on to say that he is going to use a combination between the transfer portal and freshmen, but get the right people, like plays this time. Also, with the players trying to leave or whatever, he says that this time he's not pushing anybody to go to the draft. He says that beforehand, when he would tell players if they come up to him and ask him about, their status in the draft, he says he would tell them that, go, already taking your scholarship, go do something for your family. And
so wait, so like when they ask him about, like when they do decide that they want to go pro, he snatches their scholarship to give to somebody else?
That's my understanding from his comments, which contradicts his previous comments about that before.
Okay.
Because he's always came out and said that when a player asked him about it, that he would tell them, you got to be a man to go in the league.
Oh.
So you got to make sure this is what you want.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's some contradiction there.
Yeah.
And everything that he says in his statements, it's kind of like, well, we've heard this before. You can only show us now. Like, show us what you're going to do.
Your words don't mean a thing.
Because he says that he's going to take the summer differently and try to be more physicality and more time in the weight room. You should have already been doing that.
Yeah, that should have been something done from the jump.
Okay,
You just better hope that the people that he needs, like Reed Shepherd, don't go pro or don't switch teams.
Okay, let me say this. These players are on this basketball team, Kentucky, and I think they have the mindset that if they are on the UK basketball team, that they have a great shot at going to the pros and doing this and that and just leaving, and that hurts us as a basketball team. Because you don't have, like we just talked about the Lady Cats, y'all not going to have chemistry. Y'all are ball hogging. Y'all trying to get the eyes put on you all so that y'all individually can go and be seen to go to pro. Can we really, really blame Cal for us not winning?
Well, yes and no. Because I will say that we do need to have player accountability, but also too, it's up to Cal to put in the culture. Like they had an interview, and it's actually on the Facebook. If y'all ain't linked into it, go check it out. But it's actually posted on the Facebook page that
our Facebook page.
Yeah, our Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
That Cousins and Rondo, they was having a debate about Coach Cal. Well, Rondo was with the Tubby era, which was right after the Pitino era.
Yep.
It still had culture.
Yep.
Still had that winning culture.
Yep.
Cousins came in after the Gillespie era. Like Cousins says, when he came in, the morale was down. That was because of the Gillespie era.
Yeah, but they still had Kentucky culture. The DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, let's
not forget Tony Dell.
That too. But I felt like the culture started to fade with that team because so many of them were like one and done. But I felt like there was still a little culture hanging around when they were in there. It was when they left, and then we got the new people, and they just left.
Well, it was the excitement of Calipari coming in.
It's probably what it was too.
So the one and dones actually started happening with Gillespie with that team that we will not talk about. We didn't even make the NIT.
Facts.
And then the one person that was hurt most of the year went number one. I still don't understand how that happens in an NBA draft. And then, fast forward a couple years later is when we won our national title with Calipari.
Yeah.
But somewhere
Anthony Davis was with that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in there, between then and now, I feel like he got complacent. And he started getting into, well, if they're going to go, I'm going to have 5 more people coming in to replace them.
Yeah, and so now we just look at it as like our team is just there to condition people for pro instead of like we want to back our team 100%. We got the culture. Like, we're so proud of our boys. They're going to stick around. They're going to make our names known for years to come. We don't have that anymore.
At least like 3 years.
And that's what some people don't. And some people don't understand. Like, they think that we're just entitled fans that we want to see win the title every year. No, but we expect a deep run in the playoffs at least.
Right.
You know,
like, don't get beat out the first round.
And you getting beat out the first round in the SEC tournament.
Nice.
With the players that we bring in, we should be winning this stuff.
With a team that's number 14, Oakland.
They play so nervous.
No shade, but Oakland.
They just don't have chemistry. They were all over the place. They just didn't know what to do. They nervous because they're trying to please these people. And at the same time, trying to do what they're being told to do over here. At the same time, not knowing what to do. Their minds, they all over the place. They're crazy.
And so this is what happens. So like you get a team like this that you will watch on offense. They're doing I go, you go mentality.
Yes.
And then you put them up against a team like Oakland, who yes was a number 14, but their balance and their culture of a team, their team playing, like they kept the ball moving,
ate them up.
They find the open guy. That's not gonna cut it. And so another thing too that I've watched and that they need work on is their pick and roll game.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is you'll see the person who's setting the pick, right? The point guard will go around and they won't even go through the pick. They'll go the opposite way.
Yep.
Or if they hit the pick and roll, they automatically want to cut to the basket. They don't allow the roll to come out to where they can get the open basket.
Right.
So there's a lot of things to unpack to where he needs to take a lot, not just a bit difference, but a lot of difference. Because there was talks earlier in the season. So Rick Pitino came out and said that one of his biggest regrets was leaving Kentucky.
But didn't Rick Pitino get kicked out of Kentucky?
No. He left.
He left to go
to the NBA.
Which one's the one that went to Louisville?
Kenny Payne. Yeah.
Okay.
So, he did actually no. Pitino did go to Louisville.
I thought so.
But he did get ran out of Louisville because of some recruiters they had was kind of tweaking some things.
Crazy.
Yeah, with the players and
But
he got ran out of somewhere.
Crazy.
But there was talks that if Calipari wasn't going to come back this year, because yes, y'all, he is coming back next year. So
I think he should.
He needs to be under a microscope this year, the coming year. If you don't produce this year,
at least go and do something in the NCAA and not just be out on the first round.
Well, not even
make it at least to the Sweet 16.
Like I said, with the SEC tournament, with the SEC tournament, he has said that he didn't care about that tournament. You have to care about all of it.
All of it.
Like, if you don't care, then your players ain't gonna care. This is what we have in Kentucky. This is what we have in Lexington.
We don't have for that culture.
We don't have an NBA team. Like, I've known people that come from places like I had a boss. He was from Wisconsin, right? And I was trying to get him to talk about college sports. He didn't really care because they have Green Bay, they have the Bucks, they have like pro teams that they actually root for.
All we got is UK.
We're a college town.
Yeah.
That's what we got. That's what we got to be proud of. Everything here has UK on it.
We'll stop that segment right there, and when we come back, we will go into another segment. And we talking Beyoncé. Stay tuned. Welcome back, y'all. And after that intense discussion on UK basketball and Coach Calipari, it's time to switch the gears and we're going to get into some Beyoncé. Here with that news is our special guest host, HaVic.
Hey guys. So, like we all know, Beyoncé is a mega superstar, and she is capable of doing it all.
She's her own planet at this point.
Yes, she is, and I'm very excited for Act 2, due to the fact that it's causing a lot of talk about everything, what should and should not be.
Come on, controversy.
This album comes out this Friday, so I thought it would be a perfect time to discuss this whole album, this whole country album from Beyonce.
Hold on, wait, because Beyonce said this is not a country album. This is a Beyonce.
This is a Beyonce. But we all know the tea.
Facts.
So, this album is something that has happened before, dealing with Black culture. There's been different Black country artists around that has been known and that are underground that are struggling to actually be known in the country world or be accepted. I guess it's a personal situation for each different artist. You know, some are mainstream and some are not. I do like the fact that Dolly Parton, which is the queen of country, we love Dolly.
Yes.
Dollywood, Dolly, you know.
Jolene.
Yes.
Jolene.
So speaking of Jolene, Beyonce is actually redoing Jolene.
Ooh.
On the album. And she gave her a nod. And Dolly Parton is very excited for Beyonce to actually take on the country world. And she went on Twitter to actually say that and give homage to Beyonce, welcoming her into the country world, which I thought was really good. And, you know, coming from the queen of country, you know, why would anybody want that? So that was a nod off. Lainey Wilson actually said that Beyonce knows how to tell a story. So with that being said, country music tells a story from the music that I've heard from country. Because I'm not a really big country artist at all either. But
well, you ain't a country artist at all.
Yeah, a country fan. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
You got your bootstraps.
So but yeah, I said that she knows how to tell a story. And Miranda Lambert also said that she has always dreamed of collaborating with Beyonce. So, I mean, that's kind of opening doors for a whole bunch of opportunities for not just Beyonce, for other country artists. And I think it's actually time for her to do something different like that, because we've had the R&B Beyonce, we've had the house music Beyonce, we've had the pop Beyonce, we've had the rock Beyonce. What's wrong with having the country Beyonce?
There's nothing really wrong with it. Artists can grow. I will say that. It's about how you, I would say, get into it at first. Now let's look at the whole Texas Hold'em song.
Okay.
I did fully listen to that before we got here. But there's a few lines in there that kind of stuck out to me on her ability to do country. Like I said in the previous episode, I grew up with country.
What kind of country?
All types of country.
Okay.
Let's say that. Okay. I grew up with old country, bluegrass. My wife loves the new country now, the pop country stuff. You know, she likes Kane Brown, Luke Bryant, all them.
So my question to you is how do you approach country if you've never done it? What are the rules on it?
There's not really any rules. It's just kind of like, okay, so I could see where people in the country world, like kind of fans, have gotten kind of misconstrued on some of her stuff. Especially the Texas Hold'em song, because there's one that says, you know, park your Lexus. Ain't nobody in the country world worry about Lexus because they worry about beat up trucks.
Okay.
You know? So they ain't worry about, you know, parking your Lexus and going into the club. They ain't worried about that. So that's probably where she probably got the disconnect with it. And she says, this ain't Texas, then where you at? Because last time I knew, you was in New York with Jay-Z. There's things like, we all know that you're from Texas,
right?
But there's just things that disconnects. There's words that can disconnect you from the fan base.
Well, a lot of people would say that that's her bringing her lifestyle into what she feels is her version of country. Like, this is her version of country. She might bring a Lexus to the country, and she might park it. And this ain't Texas. She's in New York, in California, but she still is considered herself as country because that's where she was raised.
I mean, I get that.
It's like saying you can take the brother out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the brother. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I get that.
And it's like, I think that song Texas Hold'em is a very catchy TikTok type of song.
And that's what it became.
It's very, very much so that. And she also has one that made me tear up, which was 16 Carriages. That was very good too. I liked both of them. They both gave me a different feel, different vibe. I personally don't think there's no rule. I think there should be growth, development, and just putting anything into the country, mixing this with country and this with country, like Nelly mixed rap with country and
grammar.
But this is the thing though. Like when the people who have dabbled into other genres with country, they featured themselves. I mean, country grammar really wasn't country, like country. You know what I'm saying? That was still kind of rap.
Maybe Beyonce's not country.
But that's the way that those two songs came off.
I see what he's saying with Texas Hold'em, because Texas Hold'em was definitely country.
Yeah, that was
Texas.
Yeah, that was a line dancing country song.
Country.
So basically, what I was saying, but before, there isn't no rule. It's just the way you go about it. Like you can still introduce yourself into it by like getting on some features. Like, hey, call up some other people that actually is in there, and you can introduce you to that fan base.
When she did, she got backlash when she got on the stage with Dixie Chicks. So she has tried to do it in the past, and it was not accepted. So I think she just said, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna dive head into it, and then there we go. You know, she doesn't. I don't think she was trying. I don't think she needs approval to actually do country. I think she's a very smart artist. She's a great engineer. She has an ear for things. She knows what the people want. She knows what sells. She knows what works for her as well. And I think her taking this approach is very good, because if you look back on the superstar Charlie Pride in 1960, he was put into the Country Hall of Fame. And he broke a lot of racial and cultural barriers to let them know that, hey, no, this country just has to be a racial thing. And I think a lot of people, I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying I think that a lot of people are doing that with the black artists. Like, black artists shouldn't be doing country. They shouldn't be doing country. But there's a lot of black artists that do country.
I think, in my professional opinion, which is not very professional but more of an opinion, I think that black male artists are more easily accepted into country.
Yeah, like Jimmy Allen and Kane
over
Brown.
the black woman. And especially when it's an artist that has dabbled in a genre for so long. Like, that's their stick. Like, Beyonce is the pop or R&B queen. Like, that's just her realm. And for her to completely transition at the drop of a hat, even though when she came out, she said, like, no, this has been in the works for 5 years. I came out with Daddy Lessons to kind of touch into it. Mm-hmm. And then when I performed at the CMAs, it was rejected. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go full force. It's already rejected. I'm already going to get backlash for it. Then why not do it? But when you have been in one genre or a set of genres for so long, your entire career, and then you just try to cut that tie and go, well, not really cut that tie, but like, go straight into another genre, it's kind of like, but you're not country, even though you are from the country, but you're not country.
But I also think that she's not like you said, she's not cutting ties with what her stick is. She just wants to do something for everybody.
Well, so also too, like, and I'm not just putting Beyonce in that category, because I've seen a lot of artists, and I'm not saying, you know, a certain kind of genre of artist, but an artist that have went into other genres. It's just, there's a subtle way to do it to kind of ease your fans and ease other fans into it, than going straight into it, because I've seen from other artists who went straight big into it, it didn't work out for them.
Well, what about Taylor Swift? Because she went country and went straight to pop.
Well, hers is kind of more of a country pop. That's where hers is, because there is a such thing as country pop, and that's what she did.
Well, what if Beyonce is trying to create country R&B? I mean, Taylor Swift went country country straight to pop and didn't look back. She has not done anything country at all.
But that's what I'm saying. Like she already was in the combination of country pop. So her country was more pop.
Music was not. It was country. It was straight country. And then when the country world did not accept her because she wasn't enough country, she went straight to pop and blew up.
Like what's like? Give me some songs that y'all are both referring to as far as like it was country, and then it was like where you would see as country pop. Like you're on the phone with your girlfriend, she's upset, she's going off about something that you said. That's Taylor Swift, and I consider that. Some people may consider that fully country because she's telling the story, and it's got that country instruments to it, and that line to it. But at the same time, I feel like it's country pop because you're like, hey,
yeah,
you bop into it. It's not like you're not just in your feels about it, and I don't feel like Taylor Swift has any songs where you're just in your feelings about it. It's
so when I say
it's a bop with a feel.
Yeah, so when I say country, like I mean, like
Dolly Parton.
The Dolly Parton, the George Straits, the Clint Blacks. You know, that type of country is a lot different from the country pop, which, like you said, you kind of bop to it, you kind of pop. It's a lot different, and it's got a lot of different feel, and it's got two different fan bases.
You even also have like another R&B artist that actually went into from R&B to country, which is K. Michelle. She actually did that too. She and I feel like her country is a feel of a perfect blend of R&B and country.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's nothing
so good.
there's nothing that would be like you should do one or the other. You know, it's the perfect blend of it that I would say. And that's where the disconnect is. Like you try to go full country.
Like
on that,
people are wanting her to blend her style with country, and not just turn into a country.
So let me ask you a question. So do you think Texas Hold'em was a kiss ass song?
No, I wouldn't say kiss ass,
or a song that
it just
like she knew that song was gonna start controversy.
No, I'm not just saying it's.
It did though.
It did start. It did start controversy. But I would say that was her doing her Beyonce. I'ma go big, because we all know Beyonce loves to go big.
Yeah, she don't go small.
Yeah,
and it's not my favorite either, because I really don't vibe with Texas Hold'em like that.
And so, but she knew also that's what's gonna get some of the, like you said, the TikTokers. Because they already created TikTok dance with it. Yeah. And they may play that for line dancing and stuff like that. So that's where.
And see, maybe that's why come I don't really vibe with Texas Hold'em, because I can't feel Beyonce in it.
Yeah.
I'm not used. You know what I'm saying? When I feel Beyonce, I want to, or something. You know what I'm saying?
So, and that's also
I'm getting that out of Texas Hold'em.
Because I also did listen to the 16 Carriages, and even that, like it was meaningful, like you said. Mm-hmm. It just didn't have her feel to it.
I disagree.
That one had her feel.
I felt like that one did.
Well, I mean, I'm not, and I will say this, y'all. Like, I'm not an avid Beyonce listener.
Okay. That explains it.
So, but it just.
You used to the
well, not really. Like even some of her you would call it the breaker songs or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, the down songs. It just
the emotional songs.
Yeah,
she emotion in that song.
It just the way, like, my disconnect was with the beat and the way she was trying to present it in her voice.
It was too far country over.
Well, not it really just too far country. It just the two didn't match.
Okay, I'm about to go back and listen to it.
So it just, like, there was certain parts of the song was like, I probably would have done that better.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. I was disconnected from 16 Carriages. Like, yes, I got the message, and it kind of was like, oh damn, like, okay, B. But at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling it or not. Like, it just didn't seem like.
I like that one better than Texas Hold'em. Because I felt the emotion. I know. We all know Beyonce can give give you emotion in the songs and stuff. So that's what my connection with 16 Carriages was the country portion of it, the Beyonce portion of it, emoting emotion with that song. That's where I felt that I seen more of Beyonce in it, was because of those three factors in that song. But maybe, I have to say, I see what y'all saying.
Maybe I just don't want to see Beyonce that low.
Now let me ask you.
She was too emotional for me.
Now let me ask y'all this question now. With Act 1, Beyonce, she did house music, killed it,
loved it,
tour,
slayed.
Loved it, slayed. Do y'all see her doing a tour with Act 2?
Probably.
And if you see her doing a tour with Act 2, do you see it being successful?
Well, I can't say
Act 1.
I can't say probably. I do see a tour in it because, I mean, let's look at Usher. When he got out of Las Vegas, did the Super Bowl, now he's got an album coming out, and then he's going to go back on tour.
I think it's going to depend on album sales, and then she's going to think about it.
I don't know. It all depends on what this album is sounding like that's coming out on Friday, and if she's going to accept or decline this residency that's being talked about. If she's going to accept the residency, I'm sure that we'll hear those during the residency. But as far as going out on tour and stuff like that,
like Act 1,
it's up in the air with me because I've got to hear the rest of the album.
Also, what I think is it may not be a tour for that album. You know what I mean? Like,
Act 1 had a tour.
It would probably include some songs
from the
album, but it's not going to be a strict
album tour.
Yeah,
because that Act 1 was strictly that whole act. It gave you Beyonce.
Yeah.
It gave you everything.
So she might do a tour, but it would be like an collective version of different songs.
But we can't do that because you just did that with Act 1.
Yeah.
You just had that eclectic song with Act 1 and your other known songs.
But I mean, let's be real with it. If she does a tour, it don't matter. People are gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Right. And who's to say? And who's to say? Like, if she does this country album tour, so to say, Act 2, Country Carter, who's to say she won't do other songs? Because we know how she did her concert. Who's to say that she won't do other country songs and mix them together the way that she mixes and matches and does? Because she's a performer, she's an entertainer.
It literally, like I said, it's literally going to depend on what these songs that are coming out sound like.
I can't wait to
featured on them. Like, does she have country artists that she's actually featured on these albums?
There's been a few people that was rumored.
I mean, I was hoping Dolly was on Jolene, but it don't seem like she is.
Yeah, that'd been a good one.
Like
she may have a what they call cameo.
But I mean, they may.
I mean, but yeah, because it is Jolene.
She may bring Kane Brown, all them in there. Trying to get.
Or she may bring some of the people that's from the Black Aura, which is it's more like a power. It's the Black Aura is so powerful because it's reflecting not only on a generation of artists, musicians, and songwriters, but it's also with writers, critics, journalists, and fans who are interested not only in amplifying the work of Black country artists and other communities. They also focus on network building and sense of communities and avoiding dealing with racism. And those artists right there, they actually did a tour that was beginning in January and ended March. And can we guess what the last date of March?
The date of her release.
The date of her release. They end the tour on March 29th. And her album comes out March 29th. So...
Is that a coincidence? Is that something more to it?
Yeah, could it be a big coincidence, or has she actually used the underground artists with the help because they are so deep within the country and want to be known and seen, and they don't have that power and that backing and that love and support like she would on the platform level that she is? But could she have possibly used these background and these underground artists to help her amplify her
honestly album? I would love to see that if she did bring some of those underground Black country stars to her album. That would be amazing because you you can have a couple of the big name, like the Kane Browns and stuff like that, but bring some of the underground people.
Show us who else is out there.
Yeah,
that has been out there even before you started dabbling into country. That has been country the entire time. and just haven't been seen. Bring those people to the forefront with you. Bring us some more people that you are influenced.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be their voice. It could be their words, their production, their instruments, their engineering, their views and thoughts. You know what I'm saying? To make a collective album for Beyonce, that would be so hot.
Yeah. I mean, because you can collab with a bunch of people in a bunch of different ways to where you can get those people out there.
Oh, yeah. And Beyonce has the power to do it.
Yeah.
She does. And I really do think that we are in for a big treat on Friday. So I think all three of us should tune in, whether we want to hear it or not.
I guess we'll find out what the true tea is on Friday.
But she's going to eat.
Come on, eat. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap up this segment of Beyoncé. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, y'all. So Kentucky has already been working on the details for the medical marijuana, which is set to roll out in 2025. But on January 30th of 2024, this year, a new bill was introduced. It was House Bill 420, introduced by Representative Rachel Roberts, Democrat from Newport. House Bill 420 would fully legalize recreational marijuana in Kentucky. The Louisville Carrier Journal and several other sources have reported that this bill would legalize recreational in Kentucky. However, with the Republican-controlled House, the HB 420 is unlikely to gain traction. And there's only one representative, Keturah Heron, of Louisville, which is a Democrat, who is co-sponsoring the bill. This bill kind of goes over the basis of no one under the age of 21 can possess, purchase, consume, or use cannabis. It also covers the different licensing for buildings, businesses who are wanting to sell it, and the structural way around the employment of people in these establishments, and how you cannot discriminate based on if they are recreational smokers. You have to go based off of, regardless of if they smoke or not, how they are on the job. So it kind of goes into a little detail about everything surrounding recreational use of marijuana. I think it's a great bill.
I think it's great, and it's about time because, as you know, in the last election, Ohio just legalized recreational.
Yeah.
And the way the bill was set up for the medical marijuana in here in Kentucky was you would have to go out of state to purchase that, which loses the state a lot of money.
And me, I used to smoke marijuana, and I did get my little certificate. So I was able to go outside of Kentucky to get it. I was going to Missouri to get it.
Yeah.
And that's a 5.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And then having to bring it back through Indiana, which is a no-go, and being so nervous to bring it back to the state because I'm having to travel through a state that doesn't allow it. And it freaks me out. So like recreational use, medical use, I think that this bill that they have already in that goes into effect in 2025 for medical allows you to purchase in state because they'll have medical facilities that are actually cultivating and selling or distributing it through Kentucky.
Did it say on what conditions are? Because I think they did add. I think they did add some more conditions to what they did have previously.
As far as the medical, I didn't really look more into that, but I'll definitely on the next segment, I'll definitely read more into that and see what conditions, and I'll bring that to you. But as far as recreational, heck, you wouldn't need a condition. You would just, the only condition would you have to be over the age of 21.
Well, on the medical, that's where they're trying to get
the medical side.
The medical side, they're trying to get certain medical statuses, which in most places medical would also include mental disorders. And
that was my next question. Like who does this target?
So,
as far as medical,
like in most places, like they have that came out with it, they had the mental aspect of it, which chronic depression, bipolar.
And I think that is part of the one that they rolling out for the 2025.
Okay,
yeah.
So.
And I think it's also like crippling diseases or injuries where marijuana would kind of like subside those pains or those
like cancer patients.
Yeah.
Or like some type of chronic pain.
Yeah.
Like my wife, she deals with endometriosis, and that's a chronic pain because nobody
Shout
can
out to
figure
her
it out.
because she's strong as heck.
She is.
Yeah, she's a beast.
Yeah.
Dealing with that.
She definitely is.
And she still works a full-time job and everything.
Yeah.
Like she really kills it.
Yeah. Anybody that has to deal with that, I keep your head up because it is a big issue.
But I think this is like really exciting for Kentucky. But like they said, the Louisville Courier Journal said like it may not get any traction because we still have a Republican-controlled house.
The recreational won't. The medical,
it's already set. So.
Yeah, the medical. I honestly think what's going to happen is they're going to see how much money that brings into the state,
and then
they'll pop open the recreational.
Yep.
Because they'll see how much money they're gaining, and then they'll see how much Ohio's gaining. Because we already done seen how much Colorado gained.
Oh yeah.
And it's been gaining.
That's my thing. Like you see that this state is making all this money on regulating the weed or marijuana or cannabis, however you want to put it, the way that they are. I would literally just copy exactly what they're doing in my state.
Yeah, and honestly, what doesn't make sense about us not having it already? And because trust me, I've smoked for a long time. Sorry, Mom. But
come on, sorry, Mom.
I don't do it as much now as I used to when I was younger. Every once in a while, nothing big. But I've done a lot of research. I have a lot of friends that have growing knowledge about it. And the one thing that doesn't make sense to me is that our state is the perfect place to grow it. We have the best soil because, especially like I was telling in the last episode, Maysville. You know what makes Maysville the prime location to grow it is because they have limestone in the soil, and that gives it nutrients. That gives it like no other. Like
Maysville ain't only good for tobacco. They just good for the crash crop in general.
Well, that's what made tobacco in Maysville so popular is because of the limestone. And because and that's it. Maysville is like an agricultural gold mine because of that. So it just, how many times do we have to lose money?
We've been losing money for years over this particular law. Medical marijuana, recreational marijuana in general has just been so pushed out of this state for so long. And I think that it's going to change with good old Mitch leaving. Because he was the one that was pushing it for it to be gone. Yeah.
Well, he said that we'd be the last state to get it.
Yeah.
So
because he wants to live in the 1950s forever.
Yeah, and the whole propaganda on the whole reason why marijuana is illegal is because it was a push for tobacco.
Right.
So
I have a question. Is the medical marijuana differ from the recreational marijuana?
No, it's the same thing. It's just about how it's logged.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the people that actually need the marijuana, they just been getting it on the street. So now they just have a legal way of getting it.
Yeah, you
actually get a prescription.
Yeah, you get
you get a card.
Yeah,
essentially like a license to smoke.
Yeah, and I can piggyback off that because I used to, do some things that I should do that I don't do no more. Partake and distribute. Sorry, Mom. And hubby. But I knew a woman that there was a friend of mine that actually was going through some pain, and she would need it frequently, and I would be there for her when she needed it.
Right.
So I just didn't know that it was really a significance for chronic pain that way until I actually met her, and she would tell me I have to have it because it's the only thing that helps. And she's dead.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, she's dead now.
And also too about the whole legalization thing and the medical marijuana thing is that it actually gets the like the knowledge of what comes behind that, because when you go about it off the streets, not too many people are worried about the kinds that there is, like, you know,
Right.
sativas are used for this, indicas are used for
Mhm.
this,
Hybrids
you know,
are used for this.
hybrids are used for this, like
Yeah.
like me now, like the reason I did cut down and the reason I don't really smoke as much as I used to is because all of a sudden I think it was a jump from how many hybrids are coming into the state or how many people are selling it. It messes with my anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like even now, like I can take a couple hits and all of a sudden like my body doesn't know what to do, whether it wants to calm down or wants to get up and go.
Like right before I quit, my problem was all the strand that I smoked, I don't know, and I was getting it from different people. It all made me sleepy. It was all indica.
Yeah.
Or it was hybrid indica that all just, I would smoke it and literally be so freaking lazy, ready to fall asleep, and it would be the morning time. Like I need to get up and be doing stuff.
Yeah, like, and the most of hybrids, it just goes off your chemical makeup. So if, say, my wife, who's, let's just say she's naturally hyper, you know, she's just always get up and go. If she eats or smokes just a little bit of a hybrid, it makes her heart race.
Oh.
Yeah, that was happening to me too, and that's where I was kind of like dumbfounded. I didn't have the knowledge of marijuana at all, so I would find out, like, I would smoke and I would feel so good and relaxed, and then other times I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to have a heart attack, or I had to go get a dog. That's the reason why I come and have a dog Skittles, because I was apparently smoking the wrong type of marijuana, and I lived in Arkansas at the time. It was pretty big down there, and I didn't know what was going on. My anxiety was through the roof. I'm like, I'm gonna have a heart attack, and I was laying in showers and just sitting in the shower, taking shower baths, and I was crazy.
I was smoked, and I smoked, and I would almost feel like I was having a panic attack.
Yes. I had to stop a whole paid trip for me going to the BET Band Classic. I said, no, I can't do it, baby. Y'all got to go on I can't move off this bed.
Yeah, so
and it was freaked out though. But I started to learn more about marijuana and stuff when I actually met the lady that I met, when she was telling me about her chronic pain and stuff. So I started looking into the things that she needed and stuff. So that's where my knowledge came into effect, and I didn't know how important it was.
The bill would also provide immunity from licensed adults of the cannabis license from being criminally charged with possession charges or criminal marijuana offenses.
And that's a big thing too, because our prisons and jails are overcrowded with people with just petty marijuana. Yeah. And so, and then that's where the disconnect has gotten with which side would make more money, because they think that incarcerating people would make the state money, but really it's costing people money because we're paying the money for them to be incarcerated.
I think it's going to be more to that. As far as the possession, I think it's going to probably have to still be in the package. I think it's going to have to just be on that person. So I don't think that they can just have marijuana on them and they get pulled over and have it on them and it's okay. I think they're going to probably have to.
Yeah, as long as you have that card.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
What if it's in a certain package? Because I'm sure it's going to come in a certain package. Like, what if it's in a baggie?
I will say with the certificate, even if I was to get it and show them the certificate, I still had to show them the receipt of me purchasing it.
It's going to be
because
something.
The packaging that it came to me in did not have a prescription label on it, like as far as it's prescribed to me.
Yeah.
Because I got it from out of state, so I would have to show them a receipt that I purchased it.
Yeah.
And it was purchased for me, and it was this much that I purchased, and it had to be laid out. So.
Yeah, it's going to have to be some stipulations on that, because they're going to still trying to find a way to go around, bounce all that, when it comes to, if they have to,
And I'm sure it'll still be like decision. Public intoxication will still very much be a thing.
Well,
smoking and driving would definitely be
the smoking and driving thing is definitely a thing.
DUI. For the conclusion of episode 3, please head over to part 2. Thanks for listening.